My name is Jillian Kaplan. I am here with Charlie Ashton. Charlie, welcome.
Thank you, Julian. Appreciate the chance to have a chat with you.
Of course. So Charlie, you work at Napatech. Can you tell us a little bit about what Napatech does?
Yeah, well, Napatech is a technology company based in Copenhagen in Denmark. We're a public company. We've been in business since 2003, and we're the leading supplier of programmable smart network interface cards, or SmartNICs, which are things like this. And just in case any of your viewers are not familiar with the term SmartNIC, let me explain quickly. So when a traditional basic NIC is installed in a server, it takes all of the traffic coming off the network and passes it to the server CPU for processing, which that's fine for low bandwidth applications. But when the traffic rates are high, the server CPU can't keep up because it was designed for running applications rather than doing packet processing. So a smart NIC solves that problem by performing all the packet processing on the NIC itself, which not only delivers much higher performance, but also frees up the server CPU to do the job it was designed for. So Napatech smart NICs are used in a range of markets like telecom, cloud, enterprise security, financial services. And of course, we're going to chat about a specific telecom use case in this video. And then within Napatech, I'm responsible for various marketing and business development initiatives, including orchestrating our partner ecosystem. And of course, we're delighted that that includes Dell.
Yes, we're delighted to be a part of it. So of course, we're here to talk a little bit about telco cloud transformation and that what's happening within the industry. So how do these solutions that you all have address the challenges of energy efficiency within the telecom cloud transformation?
Yeah, so one of the key challenges for 5G infrastructure is that unlike in previous Gs where the packet core was implemented in network appliances, the 5G packet core is implemented as software running on the same kind of standard servers that you'd find in a data center. And so for the reasons I mentioned earlier, these servers get swamped as soon as traffic hits multi-gigabit rates, and let alone the terabit speeds that we're now seeing in the core. So network operators have to deploy large numbers of standard servers consuming lots and lots of energy. Now, within the packet core, the subsystem called the user plane function, or UPF, represents the highest compute workload and consumes the most energy. So Napatech has developed a complete hardware plus software solution for offloading the UPF data plane to a smart NIC, which delivers massive savings in terms of the number of servers required and therefore the total energy consumption of the packet core.
That's awesome. And energy is top of mind for so many service providers. So how can the communication service providers consume these solutions that you're talking about to help them with their transformation and save, energy and cost?
Yeah, thanks. That's a really great and it's an important question because, typically carriers want to purchase integrated solutions, individual components like smart NICs that they would then have to integrate themselves. So usually they have a preferred vendor of packet core software, as well as a preferred server OEM, which of course could be Dell in a lot of cases. So we've helped a number of packet core vendors to integrate their software with our UPF offload so that basically they can offer a higher performance version of their software that also enables better energy efficiency. And as you know, we've worked with server OEMs like Dell to make sure that our smart NICs are fully compatible with their servers that are optimized for telco type deployments. And then we also have relationships with several system integrators who can provide carriers with complete pre-integrated system solutions that comprise packet core software running on servers that are configured with our smart NICs.
That's awesome. And, it sounds like you're really helping make the transition easier for communication service providers, which is incredibly important because having that end-to-end solution really helps with the transition that we're seeing today. And when we talk about really energy efficiency, and working with other industry partners, like you mentioned, you work with Dell and other systems integrators. What kind of improvements in energy efficiency are you actually able to deliver? Like, is there quantifiable things that you can deliver with these collaborations for service providers?
Yeah, I mean, really, really big improvements, but I can be a bit more precise than that.
Really, really big is a great answer.
Yeah,
But yeah.
yeah. Let's try to quantify that a bit
Yeah.
because I mean, as you know, Gillian, so Dell and Napatech and A5G Networks recently worked together on a system solution that's a Dell PowerEdge XR8000 server configured with a Napatech SmartNIC running A5G's packet core software integrated with our UPF offload. And so we compared the energy efficiency of this system solution when it was running the UPF completely in software to when our UPF offload was used. And we did this analysis for a fixed wireless access use case, fairly typical, with an edge data center supporting 50,000 users, average bandwidth of 22 megabits per second per user. And so when we analyze the energy efficiency in terms of watts per gigabits per second, which that's a metric that's a little bit quirky, but actually it's quite widely used. So we found that using UPF offload improved the energy efficiency from 6.4 watts per gigabits per second to 550 milliwatts per gigabits per second, which is a massive improvement of almost 12 times. And then when we looked at the overall OpEx for the data center, which of course that's heavily influenced by the cost of power,
Yes.
we found an OpEx reduction of 91% over a 5-year time frame, which again is very significant. And by the way, if any of your viewers are going to be at MWC in Barcelona at the beginning of March, they can learn all about this proof of concept in both Dell's booth and Napatech's booth. And there's also this nice solution brief with all of the details. And again, they can download that either from Dell's website or Napatech's website.
I love that. All the props today. It's amazing.
I tried to come prepared.
I love it. I love it. And I love that it's really quantifiable, right? And that the concept's been done and we're not just saying, to your point, it's not just huge, it's really good percentages, like major reductions in power, which as we know is a huge spend for communication service providers and also better for the earth in general to be just consuming less power, especially in these power hungry data centers. So that's amazing.
Yeah, and that's really important for both of our companies, right? You know,
Yes.
when we're having a conversation, you know, with an enterprise or a carrier, rather than starting with all the technical details of our technology and, you know, why it's so wonderful, if we start with a discussion that says, hey, we think we can reduce your OpEx by 91% over a 5-year time frame, we're going to get their attention and we're going to be able to have a meeting when we can then explain how our technologies actually deliver those benefits.
I love that. Well, awesome. Well, thank you so much for joining me today. This was great. I learned a lot, and I hope our audience did as well.
Yeah, Gillian, I mean, thanks very much for this opportunity to talk about, you know, what we're doing together to address this whole challenge of energy efficiency in telecom infrastructure. So I really do appreciate your time and your interest.
Thank you.
Thanks very much.